Welcome, students. The present session is on learning background to the story Odour of Chrysanthemums. It discusses in brief a history of age of Lawrence. It helps in understanding the text as Lawrence depicts in his story his experience of working class life around Brinsley Colliery during the beginning of industrialization. The session presents historical background and the social life of people lived in the villages around Nottinghamshire. This is an image of chrysanthemums flowers. In Kannada, it is known as Sevantige and available in many colors. About Odour of Chrysanthemums. Odour of Chrysanthemums, regarded as one of D.H. Lawrence's accomplished stories and was published in English Review in 1911. A different version which transformed and expanded the concluding section in which Elizabeth Bates reflects on her married life in the presence of the body of her husband was published in 1914 in the Prussian Officer and Other Stories. It presents the harsh and bleak life of mining villages of Lawrence's native Nottinghamshire. It narrates the poignant human story of Elizabeth Bates and the plight of women of her time. Chrysanthemums are a recurring image of Elizabeth's husband Walter and their marriage. Age of Lawrence. Industrialization gave rise to mercantilism and capitalism. Other spectaculars which Lawrence could experience were discovery and colonization of the non-Western world, rise of representative democracy, increasing role of science and technology, urbanization, and dehumanizing effects of modernity and industrialization. Now let us look into miners and mining life. Odour of Chrysanthemums is widely accepted as among Lawrence's masterpieces. It has the very strong setting of miners and their life in mining villages. Historically, Nottingham was always a major supplier of coal for industry and home consumption, particularly during the 19th and the early 20th century. One of the major sources for energy which drove the industrial machine was coal. At one time, Nottinghamshire was one of the most successful coal fields in Europe with 42 collieries and 40,000 miners. These were called as pits as miners used to descend deep into some 300 feet pit to perform their task. Gelding Colliery in Nottinghamshire was known as the Pit of Nations, with hundreds of workers drawn from 15 different countries in the 1950s. However, as Lawrence shows in the story, the sites where coal was extracted were dreary, and people involved in this labor often led bleak, despairing lives. Almost all of them suffered lung-related issues, died either of mining accidents or of diseases caused due to pollution created out of mines. Miners were on the frequent strikes demanding for their better wages and health. Nottinghamshire coal mining ends with Thoresby closure in the year 2015. It is with this backdrop of mining life, D.H. Lawrence narrates the story as to how the death of the miner caused due to an accident led his wife to see life in a different perspective. In this story, there is a strong-minded, capable wife, but the coercive husband has lived on into a moral eclipse. Mining life in the story. The story begins with Elizabeth waiting on an evening for her husband, an inarticulate, drink-obsessed miner, only to find out later in the evening that he had met with an accident at the mining pit where he worked and brought home dead. Elizabeth, who belongs for a gentle life, only faces conflicts with him. The relationship with each other pushed Elizabeth across emotions like fear, pity, happiness, and guilt. The harsh, bleak mining villages of Nottinghamshire, which Lawrence knew so well, are powerfully evoked in Odour of Chrysanthemums and contrasted with the unfettered beauties of the natural world. The story is frequently compared to Sons and Lovers, a largely autobiographical novel in which Lawrence explores his parents' conflicted relationship. Students, this is the image of Pithead in the mining site of Nottingham, made available by Pinterest. And this is the image of miners of coal industry in Nottingham, made available again by Pinterest. And they look happy only in the photograph. In the forthcoming session, we will be discussing analysis of the story. Thank you.